I have to say, it feels very weird not introducing a video with "Hi, it's Ant from UK Fountain Pens." Um, as you probably know if you're watching this, I have passed the reins of UK Fountain Pens to Feng from Anoto, and it's a very strange feeling for me. I've been left with occasional blog ideas and review samples and stuff like that where I'm going, ooh, and then suddenly realised that I haven't got anywhere to put this stuff anymore. So bittersweet for me, but I have to say, once I get used to the change, I think it'll be nice to not have that expectation and that burden on my psyche. Doesn't mean I don't still have a pen collection and still want to talk about it every now and again, though. So I thought I'd record a new state of the collection. You may see that the collection's a bit smaller than it was, and I've just this morning had a ton of pens picked up by our dear postman, who is probably coming to hate me. I've got 3 pens that are still not here yet, though. One of which is another Sailor King of Pen Urushi, and I'm not decided yet whether I keep this one and have a second, or just do a straight swap. You may notice that this is the only gold trimmed pen in the tray right now. I don't really like gold trim. That's my personal preference. I let it go on a red and gold. I think it's a lovely combination, but the King of Pen that I've got coming in is blue with chrome trim, and you can silver trim, and you can see that I've got a few of those knocking around here already. So we'll see with that. The other 2 I've got coming in are from Ben Walsh. They're the polycarbonate and white Delrin pens. They're century sized, which is my preferred size in his designs, with technical plastics. I've got a couple of technical plastics going on here already. So looking forward to seeing those when they make it through the Royal Mail system. But for now, this is where it stands. I'm really loving the collection at the moment. I think I've got a great variety in here, and a lot of these pens are unique or rare or distinctive to me. A great example of that being the Sean Black Ultim engineered plastics pen with number 8 section and the King of Pen nib. I have another Ultim, this time in the natural colour, which I put my Aldwin gold nib in. This is the one that my 2-year-old daughter managed to hide in a saucepan for 3 days. But I have found it now, and it's back in my tray, and everything's good. I did decide to sell the aluminium full-size pen, just because I think these plastic versions are warmer, more comfortable in the hand, and for some reason just sort of truer to the design. So that one has gone. Next up is the Montblanc 149. This has an extra fine nib, and I've managed to give it a tiny bit of a tune and also load it up with quite a wet ink, which is Bungu Box Norwegian wood, a dark green, and it flows really nicely from this fine in a descriptive sense, not EF, nib, and it proves to me what a great pen the 149 is. So there's definitely no chance of this going anywhere. This is a pen that I just today dragged out of retirement. This was my first Lamy 2000 that I bought back in something like early 2016. I retired it a while ago, mainly because I had more exciting pens, and this one was just, I thought I'll put it away. It's gradually getting polished from use. I'll retire it. It also has a medium nib, which I found just that bit too fat for my preferences. I gave it a little bit of a home grind this morning to narrow it up, and re-inked it with a bottle of Edelstein Moonstone, which is the pale grey Pelican ink, and I'm really enjoying it. As you know from my regular forays with the 2000 Bauhaus Blue, I have worlds of respect for this pen. It's simply marvellous. The Pilot Capless Wish I still think is a beautiful and sentimental pen for me. With this, it's really, I find it really inspirational. I still have it inked with Laban Artemis Navy Blue, which I think is appropriate given the sort of night sky star theme. It's also just a great complementary colour for the shade of the pen. And this one sees regular use. I have another blue pen that's arrived today. This is the new, I think it might be Essence de Bleu range, the Waterman Carène. From that, then they've got this whole, everything's made in France now, which is, I kind of thought they were already, to be honest. But I've had a Carène before, and I had it with a medium nib, which was quite stubby. This time I ordered it with a fine, and it's fantastic, actually. It's got a real nice presence in the hand. It's just chunky enough, and the nib is brilliant. It's really, really wet, really smooth. It's not that fine as it happens, but it's certainly fine enough. And I've got it inked with a Birmingham ink from the original formulation, which are quite wet. I think it's a really classy pen, and just incredibly distinctive as well, and a good pairing for the Lamys, which are also pull cap with that streamlined nib effect. The Leonardo Cuspide in mineral grey, I still love the resin of this one. It's not seeing a huge amount of use right now, too much change in the collection for that, but it's a long stander. Montblanc Martelet, which has still got my Lost ink by Wearing Ghoul in there. This pen isn't going anywhere, so please don't ask. I re-inked the Otto Hutt Design C with Rohrer and Klinger Leipziger Schwarz, which is a dark greeny blue black. I would put that in my top 10 inks now. It's got depth and lubrication to it, and is also just incredibly well behaved. And it transformed this pen from one that I was not using very much to one that I've been using a great deal. So I must remember that if I'm ever at risk of selling a pen because I decide I don't like it, try re-inking it with something else first. The Kasama Una Panahon, still here with Platinum Soft Fine nib. I have this eyedroppered with Urban's Kenzo Shogun shimmer ink, which has got dark red shimmer over a sort of grey-black base. To be honest, I love this ink, and I just wanted an excuse to use it. There's not many pens that I would trust with eyedroppering a shimmer ink, or just using a shimmer ink full stop. To be honest, this nib is too fine to show it off. So unfortunately, I've got about 3 or 4 mil of ink to get through, or I have to bite the bullet and flush it. This Onoto is very dear to me. It's not going to be the last Onoto that you see cropping up in this tray. Now that I know that they have short cap threads, I'm still absolutely in awe, in love with this number 8 fine gold nib. It's one of the nicest nibs I've ever used on any pen. If you remember from back with my my review of the Onoto number 8 Mammoth, if you find that online, I was a bit underwhelmed by that nib, and that was a medium. It just felt a bit blobby and meh. This nib is quite the opposite. It feels incredibly agile and immediate. When you touch the tip to the page, the ink is flowing, and it's very agile. I still think the Sequoia resin is gorgeous and a perfect complement to the sterling silver trim that you get on these Onotos. It has excellent proportions, excellent build quality, and the lovely word custom here on the barrel coin. So this pen is a lifer. This is going to be with me for good. I've already talked about the Sailor King of Pen. This one I have inked up now with Bungu Box. I believe it's Mandarin, the anniversary orange ink, which is wet and joyful. I normally only keep orange inks in for a little while because I end up getting bored of them, but this one's very nice. And what you end up with is a currently inked list that looks like this. You can see just how bright that orange ink is. And I'm heading towards a kind of muted grey, blue, green portfolio of inks at the moment. Not so many reds. The one ink I would call out, which I didn't mention, is in the Onoto Sequoia. This is the Kafka Metamorphosis ink from Wearing Ghoul, and you can see I wrote this a while ago and it's still smudged. I find that the bottom of my hand gets pretty red-brown when I'm using that. So That's one of the few Wearingulls that I've been a little bit disappointed by. The colour's very nice, but it's a bit smudgy. So that's the collection as it stands. I'm feeling pretty happy. I hope you've enjoyed it and learned something too. So see you next time.